the all-new 2017 Honda CR-V. With revamped cargo space, it's the biggest van yet.
Welcome to Rogers Center on a spectacular Sunday afternoon. Jay Happ will take the field, trying to win this series for the Blue Jays against the Pittsburgh Pirates. 27 degrees at the start of this game. This field level action cam is brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy S8. Unbox your phone. Clint Hurdle is back with the Pirates. He was away for 2 days attending the funeral of Don Baylor. He is back in the dugout, ready to resume his managerial duties. Here's the starting lineup for the Pirates. They are a game under 500. Josh Harrison has hit well against the Blue Jays, 8 for 22 for his career against the Jays. And right behind Harrison, Andrew McCutchen left the game in the third inning on Friday night with a leg injury. He has got good numbers against Jay Happ. He's back in the lineup, but he is the DH to give him a little break off his legs.
They get Jay Happ today, and Jay takes his 5-8, 377 earned run average for his 17th start. He has won back-to-back starts for the second time in that last time out. He also did it back in June when he beat Seattle and the White Sox. He beat the White Sox and the Yankees in his last 2 starts. He's on a nice little roll. He's making his first start versus the Pirates as a member of the Blue Jays. Remember, he pitched for the Pirates very briefly.
Here is Starling Marte, the center fielder. Happ is set. Here's the first pitch of the game, cut on and hit in the air. Bautista, the right fielder, hits back and makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out for Jay Happ. A little different look in the outfield. Ezekiel Carrera is playing in left field. Kevin Pillar and Bautista. Goins and Donaldson on the left side. Barney and Smoke on the right side. Rafi Lopez behind the plate.
Darwin Barney gets a start at second. He was at third yesterday. He was flawless in the field at third base yesterday. He's had starts at 4 different positions. He has a .987 fielding percentage at his natural position at second base.
Here is Josh Harrison. We mentioned his numbers. He is 0 for 4 against Jay Happ, but he's at .364 against the Blue Jays. Ball on a strike to Harrison, who's playing second base this afternoon. He played third base in the game yesterday. There's a base hit for Harrison. He continues to hit well against the Blue Jays. Carrera plays it back in. A 1-out single for Josh Harrison.
They had Josh in the number 3 hole yesterday. They're going to move him up in the number 2, get him in and up early in this ball game against Jay Happ. Jay's going to throw a lot of fastballs. Everybody knows it. He tries to backdoor that one, but Josh Harrison rips it into left field for a base hit. He is continually hitting the Blue Jays. That's 4 hits now in this 3-game series.
So Andrew McCutchen will step in. He did not play yesterday after leaving that game on Friday. 1 out. McCutchen takes the first pitch strike. Andrew has hit well against Happ in the past. 11 for 25 plus 4 home runs. He's hit well against lefties of late. McCutchen 8 for his last 16 against left-handed pitching, including 5 home runs. So he is back in the lineup. I don't care what that leg feels like. He's got good matchup numbers with lefties and in particular.
And he was putting on a show today in batting practice, hitting balls in the 3rd, 4th deck today. So that knee looks like it's just fine.
Ground ball past Barney into center. Harrison will stop at second base, and McCutchen continues to have a lot of success against Happ. His 12th career hit in 26 at-bats.
And it became oh so close of turning into a double play. Ball's hit hard, but Barney is facing up the middle. He is shading him up the middle. That ball looked like it went right under Darwin's glove. Just didn't come up for him. And normally sure-handed, if he comes up with that, excellent chance of getting a double play.
You can see he really got a lot of dirt on his uniform with that slide. Really kind of sticky. You can see he's still trying to wipe the mud off his right arm. And I think that really kept him from sliding on that dirt because it's a little bit wet to start this game. 1 out. David Freese, third baseman. Freese served as the DH in yesterday's game. Reaches for that outside pitch and fouls it out of play. 1 for 7 in the series. 4 strikeouts and a walk. But he's put up good numbers over his last 10 games.
Good RBI man. He'll cut down his swing when he has to.
Ground ball foul. Past third.
Of course, everybody knows about Freese in the World Series. What a star he was in the playoffs when he was with the Cardinals. Hit some big home runs for them, especially late in ball games.
World Series MVP with the Cardinals. He was the National League Series MVP as well. Just one season as an all-star, but he's come up big in the postseason. Bounced in front of home plate. Nice play by Rafi Lopez.
Don Gibbons was talking about Lopez the other day. He says, you know, I've been really surprised with him. I didn't know a lot about him coming into this season, but I know that he, from what I have seen over the last few days, he looks like a catcher. This time he's going to go down, not trying to catch it, just get a piece of his body on that baseball and keep it in front of him so those runners don't move up.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside, full count. Blue Jays have had their issues with their catchers this season. They have had 6 starting catchers over the course of a season. Russell Martin, of course, just placed on the disabled list with that oblique strain.
More than anybody in baseball. The next closest team to have that many catchers. The Oakland A's had 5 catchers already this year. Blue Jays have the most. They've used 6. Looked at that yesterday. A lot of teams have 3. They've incorporated maybe 3. There are some teams who've only had to have 2 catchers all season long. Blue Jays have had to go through 6.
Red Sox have used 2, and basically they have split the time right down the middle. Christian Vasquez and Sandy Leon. Ground ball foul. Blue Jays started out the season with Jared Saltalamacchia splitting time with Russell Martin, and they've had a series of Mike Ullman, Luke Maile, Miguel Montero, and most recently Rafi Lopez. Another full count pitch. The runners were not going on that last pitch. Not running here. Another foul ball out of play.
Jay in his last start had 4 walks in 5 2/3 innings against the Yankees. He's going to come right after you. He's going to challenge you with that fastball and make you hit your way on. Uncharacteristically had those 4 walks in that last start against the Yankees.
There's a base hit into the alley in right center. Harrison's around third. He's going to score. McCutchen, of course, with that leg issue, just goes first to second. But the Pirates have taken a lead on the David Freese RBI single.
I told you he's a good RBI man. With 2 strikes, he's going to cut his swing down and try and use the whole field, which he does to knock in the game's first run. McCutchen normally has a lot of speed, but you can tell he's still laboring a little bit with the knee. You see just jogging, going 1 base at a time. That was a heck of a play by Bautista in the outfield to cut it off first of all. But normally you'll see McCutchen go first and third.
Yeah, I'm sure they gave him instructions. Just use a governor, if you will, around the bases. So a run in, 3 straight hits for the Pirates, and now Jose Osuna, the big first baseman.
Limited playing time for Osuna. Of course, they got a good young player in Josh Bell over there at first base. Osuna just 176 at bats this season, but he's hit 5 home runs. He has got some power. We saw him in Montreal in those preseason games back in March.
He's got 22 extra base hits, 13 doubles, 4 triples, and 5 homers. The 4 triples, that matches the Blue Jays' entire output. Josh Bell going to turn 25 tomorrow. Young switch hitter. He's had a great start to his season. 2-1 now to Jose Osuna.
Jay can turn that ball over. Maybe he can get that down and away and get that ground ball and get out of here.
All the way and fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jay got the first batter of the ball game, starting Marte on 1 pitch, got him to fly out to right. Then Harrison had a single, McCutchen had a single, and David Freese an RBI single. He went around. Osuna chases that breaking ball in the dirt. First strikeout of the afternoon for Happ. He's been racking up those strikeouts lately. He had 15 strikeouts in his last 2 starts.
10 against the White Sox, 5 against the Yankees. Yes, sir, he did go around fishing after that breaking ball in the dirt. That's a big out.
2 down for Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez playing in right field this afternoon. First pitch is down the stairs. Rodriguez came into the game yesterday as a defensive replacement for Gregory Polanco, the right fielder.
Not a lot of at-bats again for Rodriguez. You mentioned the car accident that he was in, but he's got some power.
Fly ball to center. Pilar getting an angle to avoid looking into that sun, makes the catch. And Jay Happ gives up a run on 3 hits. The Pirates leave a pair. 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Rogers Center. Jose Bautista was drafted originally by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2000. He played 400 games in Pittsburgh, and it's always good to see your first team. And he actually came to the big leagues first with the Orioles because of a Rule 5 draft. Bautista and Donaldson smoked top of the order. Then Kendrys Morales, good to see him back in the lineup. He came into the game as a pinch hitter yesterday and picked up an RBI. He's had good numbers in interleague play this season, and right behind him, Ezequiel Carrera. He is Mr. Super Utility in the outfield for the Blue Jays. He'll play anywhere, and he's already ready to swing that bat, hitting .500 over his last 4 games.
Blue Jays get Chad Kuhl this afternoon, the right-handed pitcher. Gets to start this afternoon, the finale of this 3-game series. 5-7 and .453 earned run average. Don't let those numbers fool you. He comes into this game on a nice little hot streak. Since July the 1st, 8 starts. He's gone 3-1 with an ERA sub-3, under 3. He's big, he's strong, he throws hard. He's got some good life to his pitches. 24th start of the season. That is a career high for Kuhl. He has never faced the Blue Jays, so first time through. Let's see how the Blue Jays attack him.
He has allowed 2 or fewer runs in 15 of his 23 starts. He can be a tough customer. Bautista takes a look at the first pitch and takes a strike. Mentioned Jose, drafted out of junior college in 2000 by the Pirates in the 20th round. But before he came to Pittsburgh, he was taken in a Rule 5 draft.
Yeah, he was a man on the move early in his career, wasn't he?
Played for 5 organizations 1 year.
In 1 year. 1 year, but he's found a home here, and I think someday he's going to be up on that level of excellence.
That ball is going to reach the seats out of play down the right side. Jose playing in his 1194th game with the Blue Jays. Had some power over his last 8 games, 4 homers and 7 ribbies. Rafi Lopez and Jay Happ just trying to get up to speed. This is only the 3rd start for Lopez since joining the Blue Jays from AAA. A lot of communication, a lot of conversation about patterns and adjustments.
Where they want him to set up, you know, set up here on this certain pitch against this type of hitter. There's all kinds of things to talk about in between innings. This is another typical Jose Bautista type of at bat. See a lot of pitches. He has already made the starter throw 7 pitches. First at bat of the inning.
Josh Donaldson batting second. Trying to get a feel for the timing of Chad Kuhl. 3-2 pitch again. Outside Bautista, another walk. He's 4th in the American League in walks, and he adds to his total with a leadoff walk here in the 1st. Clint Hurdle back in the dugout with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he's had quite a managerial career, managing the Colorado Rockies to the World Series.
Tell you what, he's on my list, top 10 managers in all of baseball. Yeah, you got to throw him in there. He has done a heck of a job with every organization that he has gone to. He's a pleasure to talk to. Always seems to have time for everybody.
Just turned 60 years old. Josh Donaldson takes strike 1. Josh in yesterday's game had a bases loaded walk in the 2nd, reached on an error and scored a run in the 5th. The Blue Jays won 7-2, but the interesting thing about the 7 runs, all the runs were driven in without the benefit of a hit. High and deep and way out of here. Donaldson has given the Blue Jays the lead.
He does it again in the 1st inning. Normally in that 1st inning, you're facing a pitcher for the first time. You want to get a good feel for what he's going to throw. But when they throw that fastball right down the middle, Josh Donaldson was waiting for it. A home run number 60, and that was a no-doubter. 452 feet with one swing. It had the great sound. It had the great trajectory. And it was way gone.
His 37th career 1st inning home run. His most productive inning of his career. Wow. That'll get the crowd into it. I absolutely crushed that thing.
He was on that first pitch. You mentioned how he was timing it up on deck. That's a belt-high fastball middle in.
Smoke drives one to right. Rodriguez is not going to get it. It's up against the wall. Smoke is headed for second. Rodriguez bobbles it, and Smokey will end up with a stand-up double, his 19th double of the season.
Might have to start spinning the ball because the fastball, the Blue Jays, they are a very good fastball hitting team. That one didn't have a lot of sink to it. Again, it was about belt high, middle in. And look how far Donaldson hits it. Way back. Josh DH'd yesterday. Back at his familiar spot at third base today. One swing puts the Blue Jays back in the lead.
Smoke back up to 299 with that double. 2-1 Blue Jays. Henrys Morales. He came on as a pinch hitter in the 5th inning, in a fielder's choice. And the Pirates committed an error on the plate. He got an RBI, and a second run came in when the second baseman and Frazier threw it away at first.
You mentioned yesterday the Blue Jays scored 7 runs, none of them coming in on a base hit. That didn't take long today, did it?
Well, and they didn't have an extra base hit. They had singles. So now they got a home run and a double in the first 3 batters.
Blue Jays scored. 3 came on errors, 2 on fielder choices, 1 on a bases loaded walk, and a sac fly.
Donaldson, with his 16th home run, has now driven in 45 for the season. As Josh missed significant time early in the season, he missed 38 games with that early season calf injury. Breaking ball missed. It's 2-2 to Morales. Ray Searage is the longtime pitching coach for the Pirates.
Got a lot of good things to say about today's starter for the Pirates. Says, you know, he's another one of those guys who's on the outside. You know, people aren't talking about him, but he's got a good arm. He's got some good stuff. He thinks it's going to be just a matter of time before he figures it out and becomes a big winner for the Pirates.
He's 24 years old. Made 14 starts last year for Pittsburgh. Cervelli held that target up high as if he wanted a high fastball, and they crossed him up and got the low strike. It's the first out of the inning for the Pirates. Defensively in the outfit is Frazier, Marte, and Sean Rodriguez. Francisco Cervelli, the veteran catcher behind the plate, and Josh Harrison. You got to look around where he's playing on a given day.
Yeah, you better find out and get a scorecard, because he's made some starts at second and short. He's had some games in the outfield and left field and in right field. Today is at second base. That's his natural position. That's the one that he really feels the most comfortable at.
Ezequiel Carrera getting the start in left field this afternoon. Carrera's got a 4-game hit streak. He's 7 for 14 with 3 doubles and a home run in those 4 games.
Yeah, I noticed that the outfield is a little bit deeper this afternoon against Carrera than they were in game number 1. Game number 1, they were a little bit shallow, and he sent a couple of balls deep to left field. One was caught against the wall. The other one was a double off the wall.
Had a leadoff double in the 7th inning. It was off Jameson Taillon, the starter. Taillon would face one more batter, Ryan Goins, and then he was out of the game. Off the plate inside. 3-0.
Jack Gould saying, what do I need to do to throw a strike? That was a 2-0 breaking ball to Carrera.
Ball 4. The second walk of the inning. Bautista drew a leadoff walk and scored on the home run. Now Ray Searage is going to go out and try to help his 24-year-old starter, who has been pitching well of late, as you mentioned, Pat, over his last 8 starts. He's been very effective.
Yeah, look at the ERA, under 3. The opponent's batting average is just .220. Only given up 1 home run and a very good whip. He's been attacking the strike zone. He's been pitching with a lot of confidence. Last time out against Detroit, he beat the Tigers in 6 innings. He only gave up 3 earned runs in that game. Ray Searage was telling me the other day, he says with his young starters, sometimes when they get, you know, backed into a corner, they want to like fight their way out of the corner instead of just figuring out their way out of trouble. That's probably the message that he is talking about right now with his young starter. He's one of the best pitching coaches.
Yeah, he has been a very good pitching coach for a long time. He, of course, credited with a lot of the success of Jay Happ. So 24-year-old Chad Kuhl trying to work out of his first inning jam. He's already given up a 2-run home run to Josh Donaldson. He's got runners at first and second with 1 out. Ryan Goins. Goins has been very productive. Ryan with 42 RBI, just 3 off his career high. He established that in 2015. 0-1. Base hit for Goins. Smokes around third. He's going to score. Carrera's getting the wave around third. Harrison's relay to the plate, not nearly in time. Ryan Goins delivers another key hit with runners in scoring position.
He's been one of the best on the team, knocking in runs when they've got guys in scoring position this season, and he does it again here in the first inning. Teams have been trying to pitch him up lately, and I think he understands that now. So you got to get on top of the baseball so you can hit line drives instead of hitting fly balls. Watch where this pitch is. It's up again. It's a changeup that is up. Ryan gets on top of it. He's able to barrel it up and get it down into the right field corner. And when you talk about RBIs with runners in scoring position, with that hit, Ryan Goins is now tied Justin Smoak for the most RBIs with runners in scoring position.
Smoak has 405 at-bats. Goins has 274. And they're even in ribbies. Terrific job by Ryan Goins, picking up 2 more runs here in the first. Kevin Pillar with Goins at second, still just 1 out.
He had the right guy running at first base, didn't he?
Yeah.
Had some speed over there in Carrera after Zeke got the walk from Kuhl. He's able to score all the way from first base on that double. It was played perfectly by the Pirates, but Carrera's speed got him that run.
Smokey scored from second. Carrera scored all the way from first on the Goins double. 1-1 pitch to Kevin Pillar. Inside. You can see Kuhl's got a big arm. We've seen him at the 98 already in this first inning, but as we have said time and time again, and we saw it firsthand yesterday with Chris Raleigh, it's not all about velocity.
No, it's about location right now for Chad Kuhl. His pitches are up and they're over the middle of the plate.
Ball runs off the plate. Cut that fastball at 91. Blue Jays won 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, trying to do the same against the Pirates. Full count.
I think in these situations, Buck, as a pitcher, instead of trying to muscle your way through these situations and trying to hump up and throw a little bit harder, this is when you need to let off the gas just a little bit. Take something off. Blue Jays are on the fastball.
Pillar is going to have that one go foul. That's a great point, because you're right. When you get into a stressful situation, younger pitchers without many innings of experience say, well, I've got to really throw it hard now and get it by him, where veterans will back off and they will pitch and try to take the sting out of the hitter's bat, changing speeds.
All you have to do is say, hey, the Blue Jays are on my fastball right here. I might have to change up just a little bit, take a little something off and get them out in front.
Pillar gets jammed and fouled it off. Coming into this game, Chad Kuhl has a total of 186 innings of big league experience.
Pilar was trying to call timeout before that pitch. Chad Kuhl was giving a little bit too much time. You see him trying to call timeout, but it was late. Fouled it off to keep the at-bat alive.
Well, he never gave up his position in the batter's box, never lost his foothold. Hot shot past Freese into left. Goins will move up to third. Pilar had a lot of topspin on that ball, then hit in front of David Freese and bounced right under his glove into left.
Normally a really good fielder usually comes up with that ball, but that ball was stung and hit hard by Pilar. Freese has 8 errors this season. Normally sure-handed. Tries on the backhand. Goes with the backhand and he can't come up with it.
It has scored a base hit. So they give him a base hit. Wade LeBlanc is loosening up the lefty. He has not appeared in this series. We've seen him warm up a time or two. So Pilar credited with a hit. Still just 1 out. Raffy Lopez will be the 8th Blue Jay to bat in the first inning. Be careful on this first pitch to Lopez. He's got a little pop. You might be fooled by his size, but he had 16 home runs in the minor leagues this season.
Good low ball hitter. Looking for his first home run as a Blue Jay. You're right, he's got a little pop, and he's going to be trying to elevate the ball here.
That one's going to be foul out of play. Raffy Lopez played college baseball at Florida State. He has the distinction of being the catcher after Buster Posey. He always kind of kids himself. He said, I'm a good trivia answer.
Yeah.
Who took over catching at Florida State for the Seminoles after Buster Posey?
Right here. Can't take that away from him, ever. He was also a teammate with Evan Travis at that time.
A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. 4 runs in here in the first for the Jays.
Extended inning, 35 pitches, and he's only had 1 out. You know, just watching him for the first time, this is the first time that he's faced the Blue Jays, it seems like every pitch is the same speed. Pretty soon, batters, they're going to catch up to that. He's got a good fastball with some good moving action on it. His breaking ball's hard, too.
It's a hard cutter inside. You're right. If the separation in velocity is only 2 or 3 miles an hour, there's not much deception for the hitters.
The hitters get their timing down and they get it, and they start honing in on that.
There goes the runner. Throw through, and Goins is coming home, and they won't get him. So the Blue Jays pull off the double steal as Lopez strikes out, but Goins played it perfectly. As soon as that throw was on its way to second, he broke for home and scores.
Teams will have a sign. They start that runner first and third at first base. If he takes off, the batter swings and misses, just stop, because we're going to try and steal a run here. The Blue Jays execute it perfectly. Pilar stops. As soon as Goins, the runner at third base, sees that catcher bring his arm up to throw to second base, you take off. It's tough to defend. Blue Jays execute it perfectly, and they get another run.
It's all about timing by the runner at third, and Goins was perfect. As soon as Pilar stopped, that throw went through. He breaks for home. A 5-run inning. Just the 9th time this season the Blue Jays have scored 5 or more runs in an inning, and it is a timely inning for Jay Happ. He gives up a run in the top half of the first, and just like that, the Blue Jays put up a 5 spot. Darwin Barney. Ball and a strike on the second baseman.
It doesn't happen very often where a team bats around in the first inning, but they've hit some hard balls already.
Four hits in the innings. In the inning with a couple of walks. Sharply hit, but right to Harrison at second. But the Blue Jays send 9 men to the plate in the first inning. Josh Donaldson got everything going after Bautista drew a leadoff walk. Donaldson hammers this pitch off the facing of the second deck in left. Home run number 16. A 5-run inning for the Jays.
Join us for Blue Jays Back to School Day. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under entering Rogers Center will receive a back to school backpack. That's when the Blue Jays host the Minnesota Twins at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. Now you have to be here to get your backpack, so for tickets visit bluejays.com. Buck.
Hazel, you just made a whole bunch of kids sighing on a back to school day. Come on.
Already?
Already, August 27th, and just around the corner. That's a great giveaway, so make sure you check out tickets and come on down to Rogers Center. Jay Happ had a long stint on the bench as his ball club put up a 5 spot, but I'm sure he is grateful for that. Jordy Mercer, the shortstop. It'll be Mercer, Cervelli, and Frazier for the Pirates, the bottom 3 in the Buccos order. High fly ball to left. Carrera moving under it and makes the catch. Jay Happ has won his last 2 starts. He's thrown the ball very well. He racked up 15 strikeouts over those last 2 starts.
Remember, he spent some time on the disabled list early this season in April, came back at the end of May, and then had to get his stamina back and get his release point back. But he seems to have found that last 2 starts against the White Sox and the Yankees at 142 earned run average. 15 strikeouts in those 12 2/3 innings, just 2 earned runs against some hot hitting teams. He also picked up his 500th strikeout as a J in that last start against the Yankees.
Francisco Cervelli takes his strike. We mentioned Jay Happ was traded to the Pirates July 31st, 2015. And that's significant. He made 11 starts for the Pirates, went 7-2. Really threw the ball well. And if you go back to August 1st, 2015, Jay Happ has the 8th best ERA in the majors. So that was a turning point for Happ in his career when he went to Pittsburgh, and then after that 15 season, he signed with the Blue Jays as a free agent.
And a lot of it, if you talk to him, has to do with trust in his pitches, trust my fastball, knowing that hitting is very hard. Here's my pitch. I'm going to be very aggressive and not try and be so perfect but just stay ahead of the hitters and make good pitches.
Ray Searage was the pitching coach, of course, when Happ joined the Pirates. Since his trade to Pittsburgh, Happ's record is 32-14 in 59 starts, including that great 20-4 season last year. 2-2. He checked his swing, and Chad Whitson down at first agrees with that. Francisco Cervelli has caught all 3 of these games in this series. Oftentimes you'll see a catcher catch 2 of 3, especially on the weekend. But you can see the reason he's in the game. He's had good numbers against Cervelli. Francisco is now 31 years old. He grew up in Valencia, Venezuela. Started his big league career in 2008. Got into 3 games with the Yankees. Spent parts of 7 seasons in New York. He'll take ball 4 in the dirt. So Happ walks Cervelli with 1 out.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Postcard day here in Toronto. The roof is wide open at Rogers Center. A lot of people enjoying the great weather. A lot of people here at the ballpark. Adam Frazier. Frazier hit leadoff in game 1. He hit second in game 2, and now he's batting 9th this afternoon.
Against the lefty. That's one of the reasons why Jay's pitched much better. He's been handling lefties this year. Lefty's hitting just 200 against Happ. Right now he's just trying to find a little bit more consistency within the strike zone. It took him 22 pitches to get through that first inning.
Of course, he is working for the first time with Rafi Lopez, the catcher, and pitchers like to have a tempo and a rhythm, and it's all about how quickly the catcher will give the signs, how quickly he'll make up his mind on the pitch and get into that next pitch.
That's why we see them hanging out together in between the innings to talk about this. Hey, this guy's coming up. What do you want to do to him? Or he might say, I want you to set up here, set up on the plate or off the plate. Different pitchers have different visuals of where they want to throw the ball. I remember Tom Seaver always talked about hitting the catcher's shin guards.
Happ turns and fires to second, and that's all they'll get with Frazier's speed. So Happ gets the lead runner, Cervelli, at second on the force out. Yeah, you make a great point about the catches as we look at Happ's throw to second here.
Good play by Goins. He knows he can't turn 2 on this, especially when the throw was just a little bit off target. So he just gets the sure out at second base. But they have visuals of where they want to throw that baseball, and the catcher has a lot to do with that, his target and his setup.
2 outs, back to the top of the order. Starling Marte flied out on the first pitch of the ball game. He flied out to right. Well, you remember that Russell Martin and Marcus Stroman had a conversation about Russell setting up off the plate when he called for the slider, just to make sure that Marcus would get it out where he wanted it on the outer half.
Because he can do that. He can spin the ball. Now against somebody else, another pitcher, he might have to do that, or he can't do that because they can't spin the ball like Stroman.
There's a strike. It's 1-2. Sometimes a catcher can subtly make adjustments with his body and his setup to get a pitcher back in the strike zone without really drawing attention to himself. Just set up a little bit further in one direction or the other.
Well, Lopez gives a great target. He's built like a catcher. I mean, he's low to the ground and he stays down there. He gives a good target for that pitcher to hit. They just haven't had a lot of time to work with them.
Foul back. Charlie Marte was penciled in as the everyday center fielder to start this season. Then he had that 80-game suspension for failing a drug test. That ball is a roller to short. Goins throws on the run in time. Nice play by Goins. So Happ walks Cervelli. They strand a runner. Pittsburgh trails 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the second.
Against the Pirates, but heading into the series for the month of August, he was hitting just .243. Now, he isn't an all-star year, and I asked him why he thought he would hit a little bit of a rough patch so far in this season, and he told me his timing has been off. He said when you get fed breaking ball after breaking ball, off-speed pitch after off-speed pitch, you get in between on the fastball and the off-speed stuff as far as his timing goes. He told me that he went through a week where he faced a couple of teams and all they did was throw him breaking balls. Quote, then you kind of get off the fastball rhythm a little bit. And Buck, we're seeing now here against the Pittsburgh Pirates that his timing is coming around. 2 for 8 with 2 runs scored coming into today's finale. And we saw him hit a changeup there for that stand-up double in the first inning.
Yeah, his timing is indeed coming around, and Smoke has played just about every game at first base. There have only been 11 starts at first where Smokey hasn't had a day off. He's played almost every game since the All-Star break, and that has to factor into some of his issues in the second half, but he's gotten it back.
There is no All-Star break when you go to the All-Star game. I'll tell you what, he was kept very busy over those couple of days.
Jose Bautista got everything going in that bottom of the first with the leadoff walk. Breaking ball inside. It's the ball on the strike. I tell you what, Cool threw that pitch at 95 without much effort. It really had a lot of late movement on it.
Maybe that's what he has to do. Just don't muscle up. Don't try to overthrow it. Just let the ball work itself. He had a long first inning, 40 pitches in that first inning. Better start here in the second inning as it gets Bautista with a breaking ball.
That'll bring Josh Donaldson to the plate with Bautista aboard in the first. He hit his 37th first inning home run.
No doubt about it, home run too. Fastball right down the middle. He times it up where that thing goes. 452 feet later, he can circle the bases with home run number 16.
That cutter kind of backed up and caught the inside corner. Pat, we have been notified there's been a scoring change going back in the first inning. What do you think it is?
The error by the third baseman.
Thank you. It is not a hit for Pilar. It's an error on the third baseman, Freeze. Mercer bobbles the ball, and Donaldson is going to be safe as Osuna couldn't dig it out of the dirt. Donaldson felt like he stepped over the bag at first, had to hustle back to get there before they made a play on him.
And Osuna, the first baseman, was a little late getting there. Normally you'll see that ball dug out of first base, at first base by the first baseman. Mercer's got to throw the ball on the run. He bobbles it momentarily, then gets his grip. He's going to bounce it over to first base. Osuna can't come up with it. And he's like, come on, guys. I'm battling out here. Help me out.
Yep. Needs some help. That's a play that should have been made by the first baseman. Donaldson is 2 for 2. That's an infield hit for him. Pirates haven't played well defensively in this series. They committed 2 errors in the game yesterday. In fact, the errors have been prominent for both teams in this series. Yesterday, they made a couple of errors, and it led to Blue Jay runs. This is a fielder's choice that they get one at second, but because Frazier comes off the bag, he's safe at second. They throw the ball away. And here's another one that probably shouldn't have been thrown by Josh Harrison. Goes it wide, no chance to get Ullman.
Probably should have been called a foul ball because it was hit off of Ullman's leg. Talked to Mike about that today. I said, how did you react so quickly after that ball hit you? He goes, hey, as soon as I hit it, I just ran. And then I thought about it later. I said, I think that ball hit my leg. Said I was smelling base hit.
Nobody picked up on it from the Pirates dugout. Ball and a strike to Justin Smoak. High fly ball. Frazier over near the foul line makes the catch. Smoak's retired.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by the Samsung QLED, the next innovation in TV.
Blue Jays lead it 5-1. There are 2 outs in the second. Kendrys Morales called out on strikes his first time up. Well, that one gets away from Cool. Cervelli's always been very active behind the plate. Mentioned he started his career with the New York Yankees, and he was always a backup player, but then got a chance to come here with the Pirates and has since become an everyday catcher.
And he's not
back in safely.
He's not afraid to do that. We saw that when his days with the Yankees. He's always thrown behind runners, like to show off that gun. Very quick back there. So you can't stray too far off the bases.
One and 2 to Morales. Mentioned Kendrys was out a couple of days out of the starting lineup because he was ill. Last played on Tuesday as a starter. Got a pinch hit appearance in yesterday's game. The ball gets away from Cervelli, and Donaldson will move into scoring position. There'll be a wild pitch charge to the pitcher, but it looked like Cervelli might have been a little bit late getting down on that ball.
Try and block it, try and keep it in front of you, bounce in front of you. He did everything correctly. Leaned out over the plate to try and knock it down, just hit a bad spot on him and ricocheted away from him. Now Morales has a chance to pick that run up with a single.
Inside, foul tip, and Cervelli hangs on for the strikeout. That ends the inning. The Blue Jays will leave a base runner. We'll go to the third. Jay Happ and the Jays have a 5-1 lead.
Comfort Zone are guests from one of TD's community partners. Welcome, everybody. And it's the Gene Hat, presented by Honda, on Thursday, August 17th. Now note the early start time, 4:07 p.m. Eastern. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive this Blue Jays Gene Hat. For tickets, as always, visit BlueJays.com.
Nice little giveaway hat for later on this month. Make sure you check all that out. Josh Harrison will start things off for the Pirates. He singled and scored the Pirates run in the first inning. Happ took something off that pitch, gets ground ball to short. Harrison's retired, run away. So that'll bring Andrew McCutchen to the plate. He has 198 career home runs in his 9 seasons with the Pirates. And when you look at the all-time home run leaders, of course, Hall of Famers all across the board. Pops Willie Stargell in 21 seasons hit 475, and Ralph Kiner hit 301 in just 8 seasons. He had some big years, and of course, the great Roberto Clemente, 240 home runs in 18 seasons, and then McCutchen just too shy of 200 career home runs.
Over the last couple of years, he's passed some pretty decent players in Pirate history in home runs. Dave Parker, he passed him last year, and this year he passed Barry Bonds in home runs to move into the 4th slot. He also got his 525th extra base hit the other night when he hit that double. That places him 7th all time. Just past Dave Parker. Dave Parker had 524 extra base hits as a Pirate.
High fly ball, left field. Carrera coming in and makes catch. McCutchen's retired. 2 easy outs here for Happ in the 3rd. Another interesting note about the all-time home run leaders for the Pirates. Jason Bay from Trail, BC is 9th all-time on the Pirates home run list. He had 139 career home runs in 6 years with the Pirates.
One more than Bill Mazeroski, the Hall of Famer. If you look at all the records for the Pirates, if your name isn't Honus Wagner, Willie Stargell, or Roberto Clemente, forget about it. Those guys are going to be leading in everything.
Clemente had 3,000 hits on the nose, and then, of course, his untimely death in the plane crash in Puerto Rico. At 3,000 hits. That's remarkable.
3,000 hits in 2,433 games. Tons of batting titles. He's also the career leader in at-bats, hits, singles, total bases, everything. It just seems like he, Willie Stargell, or Honus Wagner, the leaders in just about every category in Pirate history.
David Freese, the 3rd baseman, with a 3-1 count. Strike 2. Freese didn't think so. Borderline low. It's called the strike by Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire. Kind of heard that expression suggested he didn't think so either. 3-2 pitch. Same spot. Happ with another strikeout. Then Hurdle telling the umpire, Bruce Dreckman, that it was low, but Happ gets the strikeout, his 2nd strikeout. And he walks off the mound after the top of the 3rd with a 5-1 lead. Comes right back with the same pitch, 2 strikes in a row to end the at-bat.
Master Corporal Samantha Goslin. Master Corporal Goslin joined the Canadian Armed Forces in 2009 and was posted to the Joint Signals Regiment in Kingston. She received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal and deployed twice to support Canada's Arctic sovereignty, Operation Box Top. We are proud to salute Master Corporal Samantha Goslin and all the brave men and women of the Canadian Forces. Buck.
Indeed, it's always a tradition here on Sundays, home games at Rogers Center, to acknowledge the great men and women of the Canadian Forces. Ezequiel Carrera walked and scored the fourth Blue Jay run in that 5-run first inning. Upstairs, 1-2 now.
Zeke comes into this game on a nice little roll too. He's been swinging the bat well with a little pop, getting on base, scoring runs for the Blue Jays.
Cervelli gets in front of that breaking ball and blocks it just in case Carrera would offer at it.
But that's your description, isn't it? As a fourth outfielder, be ready to play whenever your name is called. You never know what position you're going to be in, where you're going to hit in the batting order. Just be ready.
High fly ball into center. Not a problem for Marte. He gets there and makes the catch. One away, bottom of the third. Interesting day today across baseball. There are 5 Cy Young Award winners pitching today. Max Scherzer, he won 2 Cy Youngs, one in the AL, one in the NL. Dallas Keuchel, last year's American, or 2015 American League Cy Young. Jake Arrieta, he won the Cy Young in 2015 in National League. And then Corey Kluber and R.A. Dickey. 5 Cy Young Award winners pitching today. And wouldn't you know it, Corey Kluber's already given up a run to Tampa Bay.
No. They've been throwing some zeros at Tampa Bay down there, haven't they?
Yeah, Tampa Bay's not hitting a lick.
They lost yesterday to the Indians, Tampa Bay 3-0. 5th time they've been shut out in their last 8 games.
Yeah, that was a real strength of theirs, was the offense. Corey Dickerson's cooled off a bit. Logan Morrison's cooled off a little bit. Evan Longoria did not play yesterday, and he's got the RBI today against Kluber.
Well, we'll get to see him firsthand starting tomorrow.
4-game series begins tomorrow. 3 night games and a 4 o'clock start on Thursday. 2-2 pitch. Owens chases that high hitter. For the Blue Jays, it'll be Nick Tepesch, Marco Estrada, Marcus Stroman, and Chris Rowley, the scheduled pitchers for that 4-game series. They'll be opposed by Jake Odorizzi, Blake Snell, Jake Faria, and Chris Archer. So Archer and Chris Rowley on Thursday. Goins went around, tried to check his swing, and he strikes out on the breaking ball. 2 away. Let's check in with Jamie Kemp. Boy, he has really come on, hitting the home runs on a regular basis.
And they are bombs too.
Yeah, there are not too many
plus.
paint scrapers in those home runs. Kevin Pillar was credited with a base hit his first time up, but it has since been changed to an error on the third baseman. It was a bouncing ball. Should have been caught. Got past Freese, went into left field. 3-0 now.
If the Blue Jays give Pillar the green light here, they are not afraid to let their players swing away 3-0. It's right there. Let it go.
Not close. Pillar draws the 2-out walk. That's the 3rd walk issued by Cool this afternoon. Mentioned a home run by Stanton. It's his 21st home run since July 5th.
Since July 5th.
118 at bats. He's hit 21 home runs. That's hot.
That's a season.
Lopez pops out to end the inning. The Blue Jays get a 2-out walk. They leave a base runner. We'll go to the 4th. Jays trying to win this series, have a 4-run lead. Division by 11 games, but in the wild card race, they are still in the conversation. The Yankees have a 2.5 game lead over the Angels for that first wild card spot. The Angels, they came out of nowhere to get up there. They have a half-game lead over Minnesota, but look at all these teams at 500 and a game under. They are really close, and the Blue Jays are 4 games back, but they got to get to 500 before you ever really consider them a serious wild card threat.
Yeah, that's where you start. Get the 500 and then go from there. They're lying in the weeds since July the 24th. They've been playing some better baseball. Only the Red Sox in the American League have had a better record than the Jays. And that's when you start going back and you start thinking about, well, God, we had that game won and they scored how many runs in the bottom of the 9th and walked us off. You start thinking about it. Got to put that behind. Get the 500. The best thing about that wild card there's 5 teams of those. I believe there were 7 teams ahead of them that they're going to be playing over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. So they got a chance if they get hot. They're going to be playing the competition that the teams they have to jump over.
Yeah, they will play Minnesota, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Baltimore.
Yankees.
And Detroit. Yep, and the Yankees, of course, they're in that top spot. So, yeah, you're right. They got to get 500 first.
Get to 500 and then see where you're at.
And you do that by getting good starting pitching, and the Blue Jays are getting a good effort again today from Jay Happ. Osuna strikes out. Another breaking ball strikeout for Happ.
The all-new 2017 Civic Si. When it leads off, it leads for good. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful afternoon here in Toronto. Remember, this is just the middle series of this 3-team homestand. There'll be 4 more games on this homestand against Tampa Bay. Right fielder Sean Rodriguez. Breaking ball. He stayed back and laces it into left field. A 1-out single. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Austin Pruitt, the starter for Tampa Bay. Of course, Corey Kluber for the Indians. And Jay Bruce, what a nice pickup that is for the Cleveland Indians.
That came out of nowhere, didn't it? You heard his name. But I didn't think Cleveland was in the running for him.
Yeah, it was a good pickup.
Really good pickup there. Their outfield in Cleveland, they don't hit a lot of home runs.
At the time of the trade, the Cleveland Indians outfield had 37 home runs. Jay Bruce himself had hit 29. Jordy Mercer takes a strike. It's 0-2 on the shortstop.
Put that into perspective. 37 home runs. Mike Stanton has more than that all by himself.
Yes, he does. 42 home runs for Stanton. His home run, his 250th of his career. Lopez getting more and more comfortable with each inning he catches Jay Happ. He's got a feel for that breaking ball now. Rodriguez at first with 1 out. Mercer strikes out. Ball was up and away, and he chased it.
Mercer homered yesterday for the 11th time. This time he comes up empty on that fastball. Jay can do that. Go upstairs and get strikeouts. The Super Slow-Mo brought to you by the Samsung QLED, the next innovation in TV. And from that slow-mo, you can see that fastball got by Jordy Mercer very quickly.
The catcher, Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli walked in the second, the only batter that Happ has walked to this point. Up and away. Cervelli immediately turned to home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman and said, no, 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 no. Thought he had a good look at it. Dreckman calls it a strike. Pirates haven't been really thrilled about the strike zone so far. We saw Clint Hurdle on the Freeze strikeout to end the 3rd inning.
You know, if you're the catcher, excuse me, Buck, you're Cervelli, just say, all you have to say is, hey, I want my pitcher to get that if he throws one out there next inning. If you're going to call it while I'm hitting, please call it while I'm catching.
Well, it was off the plate. Full count, 2 out, so Smoke will get Happ's attention and move behind the base runner at first. Adam Frazier, the number 9 hitter, is on deck. There goes Rodriguez, fouled straight back by Cervelli. Rodriguez goes back to first. Pirates had a 1-0 lead. They scored a run on David Freese RBI single in the first. Had 3 straight 1-out singles to break out on top, but that lead lasted just the half inning. There goes Rodriguez again, and Cervelli strikes out. Jay Happ strikes out 3 in the inning. He has 5 in the game. Once again, racking up the strikeouts early on this afternoon.
biggest superstars in sports entertainment. WWE Monday Night Raw. That's tomorrow on Sportsnet 360 and Sportsnet Now. Buck?
Thank you, Hazel. And it is a great day at the ballpark. You couldn't ask for a finer day as fans are enjoying this beautiful weather.
Ball players are enjoying this beautiful weather too. This is a perfect day to play the game of baseball. It's not too hot where you get run down. It's bright and sunny. You feel pretty good about yourself. It's warm, but it's not too hot. Pitchers enjoy it.
It is a perfect day for baseball for sure. Both pitchers with 5 strikeouts as Chad Kuhl is set to work to the number 9 hitter, Darwin Barney, to start the bottom of the 4th. Barney grounded out to second to end the first inning. Josh Donaldson's had a big day already, 2 for 2 with a home run, 2-run home run in the first. Home run number 16, and he now has driven in 45 for the season. Barney rolls it toward third, Freeze to his left, throws high, but Osuna stayed on the bag for the out.
Blue Jays scored in that first inning. Now they have to keep chipping away and keep trying to get some more runs, get those add-on runs. You don't want to stop scoring. And even give the opposition the opportunity to come back into the ball game.
Chad Kuhl has settled down since that first inning. That's the pitch. Cervelli was called on a strike, and he held that glove a long time to make his point to Bruce Dreckman, home plate umpire. He said, now when I was up here just 5 minutes ago, you called that a strike.
He doesn't even have to say anything. By him just holding it right there, I think sent a message.
Bautista and then breaking ball stay inside.
Tell you, he's picking up the baseball out of the hand of Chad Kuhl very early. He's laying off some tough pitches and he's getting some good swings.
Jose walked and scored in the first. It was the 66th walk he has drawn this season. That's 4th in the American League, one behind Sin-Shu Chu of Texas. Stays on that outside pitch, but it slices foul. Look out. Ooh. That was frightening. That fastball up and in.
Well, you try and cover that outside pitch and it's in the back of your mind. And then they buzz you one up and in. That's just where you just got to take a couple of seconds here. Jose's going to tuck that shoulder and then sees the one up and in, and it just gets out of the way. Fastball riding up and in. Jose pulls his hands out of the way just in time.
And breaking ball inside. It is so tough. Bautista's got that leg kick and he gets up in the air and then he's got to get out of the way quickly. That's how he had to bail out. Breaking ball down and away for a strikeout. That's 6 strikeouts for Kuhl.
He's in a much better rhythm and a much better tempo and pace right now. It's not like he's trying to throw the ball through the baseball, through the wall. He's just making his pitches, staying back just a little bit better. He hasn't given up a hit since Donaldson's infield single.
Cervelli and Bruce Dreckman having an extended conversation. They've had a couple of different exchanges here this afternoon. Donaldson's 2 for 2. His average at 256. He had a long home run his first at bat. remarkably his 37th first inning home run of his career. We always talk about pitchers needing some time to settle into the ball game. I mean, they really ambushed Chad Kuhl. Leadoff walk and a 2-run home run. That's how his day started.
And then double. There was a walk. There was another double before he got comfortable. He's looking a little bit better here the last couple of innings, making his pitches. They had a pitcher up in the bullpen in that first inning. He almost didn't make it out of there. 40 pitches to get through that first inning, and he looks okay now.
Underneath that breaking ball, that's why it gets away from him and it sails inside off the plate.
He didn't look real happy with the conditions of the mound, that push-off area. He was kicking at that dirt after that pitch.
Donaldson takes ball 4. He's been on base all 3 times. He's come to the plate. 4th walk issued by Chad Kuhl. He has walked 4 and struck out 6. But he's only allowed 1 hit since the first inning. Justin Smoke is 1 for 2.
Smokey's been on his fastball, I think, his first 2 times up. He doubled his first time up and then just missed a ball flying out to left field.
In the dirt. Cervelli gets on it quickly to keep Donaldson in first. Jay Happ gave up a run in the first, but he has settled in very effectively. He's now thrown 3 straight shutout innings. Smoke hits it hard, and a nice play by Mercer. Playing Smoke in the shift. That ends the inning. Blue Jays get another base runner on, but they leave Donaldson. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn from the Samsung Broadcast Studio. Report. We'll check in on AAA Buffalo, where Rowdy Tellez, the big first baseman, been swinging the bat much better of late, but it's been a tough season for him in his first season in AAA.
He was the talk of spring training. Everybody say, well, when's Rowdy going to be up here? Well, he's gone to AAA. It's been a learning experience. That's a big jump from AA to AAA this season. He's finally starting to round into form. His last 39 at-bats, he's had 15 hits for a .385 average. And 8 RBIs. He was a former 30th round draft pick by the Blue Jays. The reason he was a 30th round draft pick, he was going to go to college. Blue Jays took a chance on him. They signed him, and he's really moved quickly through the farm system. He's only 22 years old.
Last year he had a big season in Double-A, and they expected him to pick up the pace the same way. Last year in New Hampshire, he had 23 home runs. He drove in 81 and hit 297. This year, a little more of a challenge for him. Adam Frazier, number 9 hitter.
Frazier in the lineup today. Remember, Gregory Polanco left yesterday's game with a hamstring injury. And Frazier in his career has hit almost 380 against lefties. So he gets to start today against Jay Happ.
He hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Frazier, then Marte, the leadoff man, and Happ with another strikeout. 6 strikeouts for Happ.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by Samsung QLED TV. Experience Canada's team in all the colors of the game with the next innovation in TV.
Happ has struck out 5 of the last 6 batters to come to the plate. We have seen him get on these streaks in the past. Against Texas a couple of years ago, he had 6 straight strikeouts against the Rangers lineup.
Starts finding it, starts putting it in a good spot, starts racking up the strikeouts. He struck out the last batter in the 3rd. He struck out the side in the 4th, and he's got the first one here in the 5th.
Ball and a strike to the Pirates center fielder.
Glenn Hurdle looking for some offense. Blue Jays pitching has been outstanding in this series against the Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates just haven't had many runs lately. Hurdle talking with Dave Joust, who is one of the coaches on their staff. In the air to right. Bautista is there and makes the catch. Marte's read time.
Now you talk about Jay Happ finding it and finding that release point and getting stronger as the game wears on. Well, the numbers prove it. The opponent's batting average the 3rd time through goes all the way down to 193. In fact, he's got one of the highest strikeouts percentage 3rd time through a line. He strikes out 30% of the batters he faces the 3rd time through. First 2 times is at 263. He drops that down to 193. And some of the other numbers that he has 3rd time through, his fastball actually ticks up just a little bit 3rd time through. So he always finds something to finish off the game.
Just off the plate inside with that breaking ball. Josh Harrison is 1 for 2.
Josh upset with himself. Should have hit that one. He comes in here hot. He's had a good series against the Blue Jays. 4 hits in the 3 games. He's also had 6 multi-hit games in his last 14. So you got to make a pitch here.
Breaking ball in the dirt, and Harrison wouldn't chase. He laid off. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. Jay Happ looking for his 3rd win in a row. Right on the outside corner. He is zeroed in, down and away. Another strikeout for Happ. 2 in the inning, 7 in the ball game. Jay Happ is working very well with Raffy Lopez, the catcher. Teaming up for the first time, and Lopez receives that strike 3 very, very comfortably. teamed up very well with Rafi Lopez. They gave up a run in the first and nothing since. Just one single. That was in the 4th inning, but Happ has recorded 7 strikeouts. Kendrys Morales has struck out twice so far.
Might take him a little while to get that timing back. He missed a couple of games. He wasn't feeling really all that well. Saw Nori Aoki today in the clubhouse. He's been missing for a couple of days, a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, they're battling the flu a bit, and Aoki was sitting up in the clubhouse. Looked like he was feeling much better. Outside, 3-0. Blue Jays, of course, had to disable Russell Martin after an oblique injury, and Morales takes a 4-pitch walk. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts, available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beautiful day today with the roof wide open. Another good crowd on hand yesterday on that Junior Jays Saturday. 46,179 in attendance.
And you know who leads the American League in attendance? The Blue Jays. Up over 2.3 million fans. They're averaging over 40,000 a home game.
Been a terrific turnout all season long, despite the season record. Carrera tried to check his swing, went too far, according to Jordan Baker, down at 3rd. LeBlanc up for a 3rd time this afternoon. Kuhl has thrown 93 pitches. Sharply hit. Mercer flips to Harrison, back to first, double play. 2 for the price of 1 on that ground ball.
The pitcher's best friend right there. He took something off that pitch and made it sink just a little bit more, and he had Carrera out in front. That's pitching. You know, you end up walking the first guy on 4 pitches, and then you just take something off, get the ground ball, and you're in business.
The 124th time the Blue Jays have grounded into a double play. That's been a real problem for them. Ryan Goins scored a run in the first on a double steal. He stole home. He gets jammed on this one, and it's a fly ball. Rodriguez is there. Quick inning for Chad Kuhl as he is through 5 innings. Just 8 pitches for Chad Kuhl to retire the side of Everett. Owners care for the company. as much as dog owners care about puppies. Ah, puppies. Book now at WestJet.com. It is a terrific promotion here as the Super Jays are being honored. Now time for the schedule ahead, brought to you by WestJet. Tampa Bay will be in town starting on Monday, a 4-game series. Note start time on Thursday at 4 p.m. Then we go to the Cubs. First time the Blue Jays have been to the Cubs since 2005. Off day on Monday in St. Pete, then 3 more with the Rays, and then the Minnesota Twins here for the first time this season.
Get used to some pretty good pitching. The Cubs have got some guys who can pitch. 7 games in the next 10 games against Tampa. We all know they've got some guys, some fireballers.
Andrew McCutchen skies one to center. And it finally comes down, and McCutchen is out. He's 1 for 3 as the DH this afternoon. Jay Happ pitching into the 6th. We had mentioned in the open how the Blue Jays winning, it correlates directly to how effective your starting pitchers have been. The Blue Jays got a good start from Marco Estrada, terrific start from Marcus Stroman, and a good start in his major league debut from Chris Rowley.
What would you like to get from your starters?
7 innings.
7 innings.
Absolutely.
21 outs. That's what you want to get. And we talked about that in the opening. 56 times last year the Blue Jays got 7 innings from their starters. They went to the playoffs. In those games they were 44-12 with a 183 earned run average and a 182 batting average against. This year they've only been able to pitch 7 innings, their starters. That ball's hit back to Happ. Easy play over to first base. They've done it 23 times. 12-11 record in those 23 games. Now, if you bump it down to 6 innings, if you say, okay, I'll take 6 innings from my starter, they'd only done that 55 times this year. Last year, they did it 114 times.
Remember that streak they had, 6 innings or more, 2 runs or less for 26 straight games, I think, last year. And that was part of the reason they went to that postseason. But you can ask any manager in baseball, what's the most important part of winning? Starting pitching.
And you get a starter who can get you deep into a game, good things are going to happen. You rest your bullpen. It gives you a chance to catch up if you're behind or add on if you're ahead. Thing about the starters throwing 7 innings, told you coming into this game they had only done it 23 times this year. They've done it 6 times in the last 2 weeks. So they're starting to get stronger, and John Gibbons is letting them go a little bit further.
And the interesting thing too, Marcus Stroman has 10 such games. So he's got 10 of the 23 games that they have pitched 7 innings. Well, you look at the ERA in the American League, the ERA leaders, Boston, Cleveland, New York, Tampa Bay, Los Angeles, and Houston. They're all in the race for the postseason. Jose Osuna has struck out both times he's come to the plate, both times swinging. And he walks. A 2-out walk issued by Happ, just the second walk he's given up this afternoon. Comes with 2 outs in the 6th.
You're hoping for a 1-2-3 inning. Got off to a little bit of a tough start today. That's Dane Johnson, who is filling in for Pete Walker today as the pitching coach. Jay took 22 pitches to get through the first inning. You're hoping he has a 1-2-3 inning. Maybe you can stretch him out and get that 7th inning.
Another piece of information today, Dominic Leone is not with the Blue Jays today as he has been placed on the bereavement list to take care of some personal matters. And Matt Dermody, the left-hander, is back in the bullpen.
Jeff Ware has been called up. He is the pitching coordinator in the minor leagues to take over as the bullpen coach today.
Mighty cut by Sean Rodriguez. It's a ball on the strike, and there is Danny Barnes. Jeff Ware in the background. He's filling in for Dane Johnson, who has taken over as the pitching coach, as Pat mentioned.
Jeff used to pitch for the Blue Jays in '95 and '96.
Two balls and a strike. We mentioned it early in the broadcast. I want to bring it up again because I think it's very important that when Jay Happ went to the Pirates in 2015 in that trade deadline deal, since that time he has joined the Pirates to today, his record is 32-14 over the span of 59 starts with a .309 earned run average. It was really a turning point for Jay in his pitching career. Ooh, he thought that was a strike.
He had him. Thought he had him with a fastball, but it's just a little low. And that's what he's been doing. He's been pounding that strike zone a lot with his fastball. Throws the highest percentage of fastballs in baseball. Thought he had one there.
Osuna at first base will be running on the pitch. 2 outs, a full count to Sean Rodriguez. Back-to-back walks with 2 outs here in the 6th. Now, Danny Barnes continues to throw for the Blue Jays. Dane Johnson coming out from the dugout to give Happ a little bit of a blow here. Yeah, Jay has thrown 98 pitches now.
I think that's what it's all about. He got the first 2 batters rather easily here in the 6th inning. He's trying to be a little bit too perfect. He's missed his spots. Upset with himself right here. This is just a little calming visit from the pitching coach today, Dane Johnson, and just a little reminder what you want to do with Jordy Mercer. Jay's been around. He's been in these situations before. You're not going to tell him anything new right here. He just has to finish off this inning.
Jordy Mercer mentioned he homered yesterday afternoon in the 9th inning. Right back in the strike zone for Happ.
That was his 11th home run of the season. That matches his total from last year. He's a home run shy of tying his career high set in 2014. He's got some power. Jay got him last time with a high fastball. Struck him out on a high heater.
Lopez will go to the mound to make sure they get on the same page. They've worked pretty effectively this afternoon. First time Lopez has been behind the plate for Happ. So I'm sure Danny Barnes is ready by now down in the bullpen if needed. 0-1 to Jordy Mercer. Hits him. Ball in the dirt, bounced off the catcher. I thought it bounced up and hit Mercer, but it didn't. So Happ having a little trouble with 2 outs here in the 6th. They retired McCutchen, got Freese to ground out, and then walked Osuna, walked Rodriguez.
Trying to aim that ball in there. Trying to go inside and missed his spot. Looked like a slider that he held on to just a little bit too long.
2-1 now. All of a sudden Happ having trouble finding the strike zone.
This might be his last batter right here. You got a tough right-hander on deck in Cervelli. You got Barnes is up and he's ready. Love to see Jay walk off the mound with his team after this inning.
Josh Bell did not start in this game. Got a bat in hand, and another ball from Happ. It's 3-1. Cervelli is the catcher. He's the next hitter. He's standing on deck. But they've got that powerful bat of Josh Bell. 20 home runs. 3-1, 2 outs. Fans trying to rally behind Jay Happ. Strike 2. So now they'll get behind him again. The runners will be off on the pitch. Osuna from second, Rodriguez from first. Happ has a 5-1 lead. He got it. Jay Happ comes all the way back and strikes out Mercer to end the 6th. The Pirates leave a pair. Happ 8 strikeouts over 6 innings. He walks off the mound indeed with his team, enjoying a 5-1 lead. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Blue Jays fell behind. The Pirates scored a run in the top of the first, but the Blue Jays stormed back, sent 9 men to the plate in the bottom of the first, scored 5 runs on 3 hits, including a Josh Donaldson 2-run home run. The only scoring we've had throughout this ballgame.
Everything in the first inning. And because of that long first inning, Chad Kuhl just goes 5 innings. He'll give way to Wade LeBlanc. 43 games for LeBlanc. That is a career high in appearances. He's been pitching out of the bullpen for the first time in his career exclusively. He's 4-2, 432 earned run average.
Nice play by Josh Harrison. He timed his leap perfectly to take it away from Kevin Pillar. LeBlanc first out of the inning.
LeBlanc doesn't overpower you. He doesn't throw the ball by. He's got a great changeup. Impressive curveball. Pillar bidding for a base hit. It's taken away by the athleticism of Josh Harrison. He was way up there to take that thing away.
LeBlanc is 33 years old. He's turned 33 at the start of August. He actually spent some time with the Blue Jays in the minor leagues. Pitched for Buffalo in 2016. Made 14 starts and pitched really well. 7-2 with a 171 earned run average, and that led to his being dealt away
to Seattle. Didn't he go to Seattle? We kept hearing his name, that he was going to be one of the guys to come up here and help out the team.
Went to Seattle, won 3 games for the Mariners. Then he ended up in Pittsburgh at the end of the season. Fair ball. Nice play by Osuna. Gets to his feet, steps on the bag, takes a hit away from Rafi Lopez. They've got some decent first basemen between Bell, Osuna, and even Sean Rodriguez, who plays first from time to time.
Osuna, that was a nice play to his glove side. You got to smother it first. And he did, taking away extra bases.
Darwin Barney, the number 9 hitter. Looks like Danny Barnes is going to come into this game. He had gotten ready and then sat down at the end of the top half of this inning. And he has since gotten up. So that appears to signal the end for Jay Happ.
And if he is, 6 innings, just that 1 run he gave up in the first inning.
Barney hits it high and deep to left. Frazier is back at the wall. This one's going to go. Get up and down. Darwin Barney, his 3rd home run of the season, comes with 2 outs here in the 6th.
Got a chance to highlight Darwin today. Always seems to do something to help the club when he's called upon. John Gibbons puts him into the lineup. He makes some great plays yesterday at third base when Josh Donaldson had the day off. He gets the start today at second base. He's made some nice plays, and now he chips in with a home run, his 3rd.
16th RBI of the season for Barney.
There's that great changeup, and he catches it out in front and lifts it right out of here.
Bautista pulls it to 3rd. Freeze rights himself. That ends the inning with the Blue Jays get a big hit from Darwin Barney. A 2-out home run to add to their lead. Deep to left field. Got a high changeup, and he hammers it over the wall in left. 6-1 Blue Jays.
Returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
43,618 in attendance here at Rogers Center. Another terrific crowd. It's been the same all throughout the course of this homestand. We'll pick things up again tomorrow night when Tampa Bay is in town. Blue Jays play another AL East rival when the Rays arrive here. They're going to have to figure out something to do with the Rays. They've not had success against Tampa. They're 6-6 against Tampa this season.
Danny Barnes will take over after 6 innings from Jay Happ. Danny pitched Friday night in this series. A very good inning. 3 up, 3 down. A couple of strikeouts in that inning. Showed a good fastball that day. he would get 8-9-1 this afternoon.
Barnes needed just 11 pitches to retire the side in order. A couple of strikeouts. Struck out Josh Bell and struck out Gregory Polanco. Here it's Cervelli, Frazier, and then back to the top of the order, Starling Marte. Change up, missed downstairs, 2-0. Cervelli's late on that fastball.
You see that? It's 2-0, and as a hitter, you're geared fastball. And he got beat with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. There's something that Danny Barnes does in his windup where he hides the ball or his spin rate is high, which it is. But he can pitch with that 90 to 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and it surprises the hitters. I mean, he got jammed up. Cervelli's got to step out just to get his thoughts back.
Got to regroup a little bit after getting sawed off. Strike two. Barnes comes back after falling behind 2-0 and strikes out Cervelli. Second time Cervelli struck out today.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful day for the edge walk at CN Tower right next door to Rogerson. Boy, it's a perfect day. I'm telling you what, big billowy white clouds and blue skies. Not much wind and very comfortable temperature.
Great day to go up there and watch the game and see what it's like from up there.
Frazier fouls it off. It's a ball and a strike to the left fielder. For the Washington Nationals, they have really received some bad news. Their great right fielder Bryce Harper was placed on a disabled list with a significant bone bruise. He stumbled over the bag in Washington last night, and he is on the DL. Nationals have had more than their share of injuries to key players.
Have they ever? Missing a lot of their offense.
Bouncing ball to Hopper to Goins across the diamond as Frazier's retired. Second with Jamie Campbell. Tampa Bay battling with Austin Pruitt out of the game. Steve Cishek, who is new to the race. He's done a nice job working out of the bullpen. They've added some key pieces. Sergio Romo, right-hander that came to promise with the Giants. Left-hander Dan Jennings came over from the White Sox, and Steve Cishek from the Mariners. Corey Kluber has 9 strikeouts through 6 innings. He has been charged with 3 earned runs on 4 hits. He's one of the Cy Young starters pitching today.
Tampa Bay can strike out now, so he should have a high strikeout total.
Line drive to left. Carrera is there. Marte hit it hard, but right at the left fielder. Danny Barnes with a good inning in the 7th. 3 up, 3 down. No problem. powerful all-new 2017 Civic Type R.
Josh Donaldson in the first inning. How many times are we going to be saying this? He does it again in the first inning. Hammers this ball from Chad Kuhl after the Blue Jays were down 1-0. This makes it 2-1. Puts the Blue Jays up with his 16th home run. Since August the 1st, he has now hit 5 home runs. That's this afternoon's drive of the game.
Reached base all 3 times he's come to the plate. New catcher for the Pirates is Chris Stewart. Taking over behind the plate for Francisco Cervelli. Stewart appearing for the 35th time this season. Donaldson behind 0-2.
Josh has looked dangerous again. Told you about August. He's hit 5 home runs now since August the 1st. Been on base all 3 times this afternoon.
Donaldson has had 8 at-bats against Wade LeBlanc. He's 4 for 8 with 2 home runs. That's why he's taking those mighty cuts in his first 2 hacks in this at-bat.
Seeing that ball against LeBlanc. Got a good curveball. He's got a good changeup. That's the changeup right there. 78 miles an hour.
Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Stewart hangs on for the strikeout. Donaldson's retired for the first time this afternoon.
Came right back with the changeup again. A little bit more body motion, like he was humping up to throw a fastball. Then he just had to let up. There's the changeup grip. Rolls it right off of his fingers. Josh sees it, but he can't come up with it.
Justin Smoak will bat right-handed for the first time today. Smoak has a home run, his only hit against LeBlanc, and his only at bat.
These types of pitchers, guys who have been around a long time, they don't overpower you, but they get you out with smarts. And they execute pitches.
Now, he has to keep hitters honest by working the inside part of the plate and then use that changeup to have them out in front.
Hey, it's no surprise. Everybody knows what he has. So as a hitter, you start thinking outer half, like the changeup is going to go down the way. You can just sit and look for that pitch away. So he has to do what he just did, just buzzed one up and in. Little cutter off the plate just to stand up Smoak and back him off the plate just a little bit. He could double up and throw another one in there if he wants to.
Better be in there. Can't leave it out over the plate. High and deep to left field. This one's gonna go. Get up, ball and gone. Justin Smoak, his 32nd home run of the season.
He wasn't listening to you. He tried to double up and go in there again. And like you said, you better not miss or this is going to happen. To a big power hitter, a guy who has been hammering left-handed pitching all season long. That hit by Smoak should put him over 400 against lefty pitches. It's also his 7th home run, batting right-handed and 32nd on the season.
And he's 2 for 2 against Wade LeBlanc. 2 home runs. 3rd straight 2-hit game for Smoak. And this is a pretty swing.
Hey, Tried to go back in there, tried to slip that ball by him. How that ball is cutting, but he misses his spot. He doesn't get it in far enough. Smoke times it up. It's a pretty swing from the right side.
Average back up to 299 for Smoke, his third straight two-hit game. Base hit for Morales, playing him in the shift, and he hits one right through it. 1 for 3 afternoon for Kendricks, back in the lineup.
He too from the right side. He's got a nice swing. Hands are a little bit lower. And that time the shift cost the Pirates an out. That would have been right at the shortstop, but it goes into left field for his first hit.
Three home runs today for the Blue Jays. They did not have an extra base hit in their win yesterday. Blue Jays had 8 singles, and they did not score a run via a hit. Every run, all 7, came across the score without benefit of a hit. Ezequiel Carrera 0 for 2. Waves at that breaking ball. Carrera walked in the first and scored. Daniel Hudson starting to loosen up for Pittsburgh. Pirates have a day off tomorrow in Milwaukee before they resume things on Tuesday. And Leonel Campos warming up for the Jays. Danny Barnes, he too has become an integral part of the bullpen. Remember, Dominic Leone is away from the ball club, so he won't be available for a minimum of 3 days, I believe. So you want to save as many pitches for Danny Barnes as possible. So that's why Campos is getting them.
Yeah, if it's 7-1, you got to figure somebody else can finish up this ball game, save those bullets for the Tampa Bay Rays, who are coming to town for 4 games.
Herrera called out on the breaking ball. 2 away, a couple of strikeouts this inning, but a home run and a single. Boy, what a year Smoke has put together. 32 home runs, 77 RBIs. Got 19 doubles.
He just continues to hit. He hit from the first day of the season. He hasn't stopped.
Ryan Goins scored a run in the first on the front end of a double steal. With Rafi Lopez at the plate, Pilar was moving on the pitch. Lopez struck out. They threw to second base. Mercer cut it off, and Goins slid in safely at home. Left field, Frazier is back, and he'll make a running catch as Goins is retired to end the inning. But the Blue Jays get another home run. Their third homer of the afternoon. Justin Smoke in his first at bat as a right-handed hitter today connects for another home run, number 32 for Justin on the season.
sports with Sportsnet Now. All you need is the internet. Live stream every Blue Jays game, MLB matchups, plus get your news 24/7 with Sportsnet Central. To sign up and get 7 days free, visit snnow.ca. Back to the booth, Buck Martinez and Pat Tablin.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. We are moving into the 8th inning. New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be Leonel Campos, who comes on to start the 8th inning.
Campos pitched in yesterday afternoon's game. Here he comes. He pitched yesterday. This is the 9th game for Campos. He gave up a home run to Mercer. He ended up throwing 14 pitches in the outing yesterday, but he's averaged over a strikeout per inning.
Well, that foul ball went out. Rafi Lopez, not sure where it hit him, but he was reaching for it. I don't know just exactly where he got hit, but getting a little breather thanks to the umpire.
Let's see. Ooh, right off the thigh.
Wow.
And he gets clocked in the head on the backswing from Josh Harrison. So 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, at the end of a season, you see a catcher, he's got bruises all over his body from foul tips and from swinging bats, wild back swings from the hitters. So it's always amazing when you have a catcher that catches every day and then is able to put up big offensive numbers. Pop up into right. Bautista coming in. He'll get there and make the pitch. 1 away.
Canada's favorite car cheers for Canada's favorite team, Honda. Proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Spectacular day here in Toronto, and lots of people out on the water, Lake Ontario, enjoying this beautiful day. This is what summer's all about, that's for sure. Good baseball game, good crowd on hand, and lots of fans enjoying a great afternoon at the ballpark.
And the Blue Jays are giving them something to cheer about. 3 home runs today. They own a 6-run lead as the Pirates hit in the 8th inning.
Looking around baseball, the Cardinals went into action today, tied with the Cubs in the National League Central. Cardinals having won 8 in a row. They currently trail the Atlanta Braves at home in St. Louis, 2-0 bottom of the 4th. McCutchen has been swinging the bat well. Andrew McCutchen left Friday night's game in the 3rd inning after hitting an RBI double. He bruised his leg and he came out today, took batting practice. Clint Hurdle was watching batting practice. It took a long time to make up the lineup. And when they did, his name was in the DH spot.
He's putting on a show. Also played in his 1,303rd game the other day. That passed Scoop Al Oliver for 14th place all time for the Pirates. I mean, he's going to stay in Pittsburgh, and if he does, he's going to be up there in the top 5 in a lot of offensive categories for this organization. And it's been a great organization. Been around a long time.
McCutchen draws the walk. Campos hits a fly ball to right. Now he walks the second man he faces here in the 8th inning. J.P. Howell loosening up for the Blue Jays.
Now, Buck, you were talking an inning or so ago about Washington and the injuries that they have had. They've had a great season, but they got some bad news today. after the injury to Bryce Harper, a bone bruise. That's not good. They said, yeah, no ligament damage or no tendon damage, but a bone bruise, that could take a while for Harper to get back.
Devin Travis had to deal with the same injury and took him forever to get healthy again. They have lost Trey Turner, Adam Eaton, Bryce Harper, Jason Wirth, Stephen Drew, and Steven Strasburg. 6 players off their opening day lineup out with injuries, and some of them significant. Eaton's done for the season. He's out with knee surgery. Trey Turner is just now coming back. He hasn't resumed baseball activities, but he had a fractured wrist. Harper with that knee injury. Wirth had a fracture in his foot. He's on the 60-day disabled list. And Stephen Drew suffered an abdominal strain. And Strasburg, the big pitcher's got an elbow problem.
Yeah, he's making a rehab start, I believe, tomorrow, and they're hoping he's going to be back soon. He threw on the side the other day and seems to be okay. The good news is they have a 14.5 game lead in their division at the start of play today. That's the good news. But you want these guys back to get ready for the playoffs. This is one of the best teams in the National League. It could all go down the drain if these guys can't get back.
Another team that's in a similar position, the Houston Astros. They've got a comfortable lead, 12 games, but they've lost 5 in a row. Keuchel is pitching today. He has not pitched well. They don't have Correa. And it's interesting. J.P. Howell has been joined by Ryan Tepera.
Tepera was up before this inning started. They'd like to get through this inning, not having to use their 8th inning guy at a 7-1 game.
Well, you've got 4 games ahead with the Tampa Bay Rays, and everybody knows how tight those games are, so you want to save as many innings out of your bullpen as possible. David Freese walks, back-to-back walks after 1 out here in the 8th inning. And John Gibbons has made the call. He's going to go to Tepera, the right-hander. Remember, Josh Bell is on the bench. I don't think they'd use him just yet. They're still trailing by 6. But Campos gets the first man out. We've got Jaso on the bench as well. A couple of lefty bats and potent ones at that. So Campos gets 1 out, walks a couple, and now Ryan Tepera will come on to work with 2 on and 1 out here in the 8th. And now Campos started the inning. He got 1 out and then walked back-to-back batters. So now Ryan Tepera comes on for the 53rd time this season.
Ryan also pitched in yesterday's game, although it was just a 1/3 of an inning. He came in when it was 7-1. 1/3 of an inning, struck out the only batter that he faced. So now with a couple of runners on in the 8th inning, John Gibbons wants to hold it right there. So he's going to bring in his setup man, Tepera.
He gets ahead with the first pitch, breaking ball. Jose Osuna got the start at first base. He's struck out twice and walked. Jay Happ, the starter. Danny Barnes came in and had a good 7th inning. Campos started the 8th and could get just 1 out. Late swing by Osuna. He got surprised by the velocity.
Yeah, and the movement. Tepera, I told you he pitched in yesterday's game. He only threw 3 pitches. Struck out that batter. He threw 19 on Thursday. Didn't pitch on Friday, 3 yesterday, and now got the 8th inning today.
Well, it's not so much the pitch count. It's the warming up. Getting up, getting down, warming up again, and then coming in and ramping up the adrenaline to get to that position. Now Tepera calls out Lopez, the catcher.
Yeah, you can see that they're not real familiar with each other right here, so let's talk about it. Ryan was up throwing before the Blue Jays scored that run in the 7th inning. As soon as they did, he sat down. Campos got up, started throwing. Now you're right, he sat down, now he's back up and into the ball game. Got to finish off this hitter right here, 0-2.
Osuna, as we mentioned, has struck out twice so far in this game. He checked his swing. 1-2. Osuna's got some power. 22 extra base hits, including 5 homers. He strikes out for the 3rd time this afternoon. Another big pitch from Tepera. Jay Happ has won 2 in a row coming into this game. He's in line for his 6th win of the season. He threw 104 pitches over 6 innings. He gave up 4 hits. 3 of those hits came in order after 1 out in the 1st and only 1 hit after that. 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Another big strikeout day for Jay Happ.
Yeah, he's had a 10 strikeout game, a couple of 9s, and that would be his 8th strikeout game.
Sean Rodriguez goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Smoke makes the catch. Tepera comes in to put out the fire in the 8th. No problem at all. A strikeout and a pop-up. And the Blue Jays will bat in the bottom of the 8th with a 7-1 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn from the Samsung Broadcast Studio. Right-hander Daniel Hudson making his 52nd appearance of the season.
Former 5th-round draft pick of the White Sox out of Old Dominion. He's pitched with the Diamondbacks, the White Sox. He was signed by the Pirates as a free agent to a 2-year, $11 million deal. He's got a big fastball. Trying to be one of those guys at the back end of that bullpen. He can strike you out with that big fastball. He can get a little wild at times, so this is the first time that the Blue Jays have seen Hudson in this series.
Hudson is 30 years old. He was traded from the White Sox to Arizona, along with David Holmberg, the left-hander, for Edwin Jackson. He missed all of 2013 with an injury. His best season, 2011, with the Diamondbacks. He was 16-12 as a starter, made 33 starts.
He's tall, he's got long arms, he's got a good arm. He's transitioned into the bullpen at this point in his career. His power arm.
95 with a little late moving. Just off the plate inside. It's 2-0 to Kevin Pillar. Pillar has reached on an air, walked, and lined out. Not close. 3-0. Three and one right on the outside corner. Foul straight back. It's a full count now. The Indians have taken a lead over the Tampa Bay Rays. They scored a run in the top of the 8th. Austin Jackson, a homer on a 3-2 pitch. And we're still batting in the top of the 8th.
No Andrew Miller right now for Cleveland.
Yeah, Andrew Miller's on the DL. Popped up out in front of home plate. David Freese takes charge and misses it.
Did he touch it? If he didn't touch it, that's a foul ball.
It is a foul ball. And the umpire at home is calling back Pillar.
If he touches it, it's a fair ball and it's an error and he's at first base. But if the umpires don't think he touched it, that's a foul ball. It never went past first or third. John Gibbons is going to ask for an explanation now.
Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire, was very definitive. Take a look at Freese. Does he touch it? Looked like he whiffed on it. As long as it doesn't hit a player in fair territory, Hudson gets the pop-up. John Gibbons is trying to get Dreckman to have another umpire give him a second opinion of this.
Get him some help. He calls it Freeze. He tries the basket catch. Does it glance off of his glove? Can't really tell right there.
Mike Everett now has been called in from second base. He's the crew chief, and I'm sure John Gibbons is saying, yeah, you got to get a little help on that. But Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire, was very quick to make a call. He said foul ball. So there's nothing to review. You can't review that. A foul ball did not go beyond the bases, and
it's in front of the umpires.
Yeah.
So you can't review that. So
interesting play. So it's a full count to Pillar. Daniel Hudson fresh into the ball game. And Pillar will walk. So they had a chance to retire him on the pop-up out in front of home, and David Freese just whiffed on it. So Pillar gets a second chance. He walks for a second time. Back in the first inning with Lopez at the plate and Pillar at first. Goins was at third. That's when Pilar took off on a 2-strike pitch. Lopez struck out, and the Blue Jays pulled off a double steal. Playing behind Pilar at first.
Double steals are kind of rare, but the Blue Jays have done that already one time this year, haven't they?
Way back in May, Luke Maile was the runner at first. Evan Travis was the runner at third, and they pulled off a double steal. Travis strolled home. It was against Seattle right here at Rogers Center. This is kind of interesting. The National League team chooses to play behind the runner. It's only a 6-run game. The American League East wouldn't do that.
With the big lineups and everything like that.
And the Blue Jays are being respectful here. They said, okay, if you're not going to hold me on, I'm not going to run. Fly ball into the outfield, not deep. Sean Rodriguez over in the alley makes the catch. Lopez is retired.
I guess they feel that's enough runs. I've played for managers before who would then take advantage of that, even if you have a 5 or 6 run lead. Yeah, of course, the other team would get upset, right? And the manager would holler over to him. He goes, hey, if you stop scoring runs, I'll stop scoring runs. If you guarantee your team's not going to score anymore, then I'll try to stop scoring runs.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but we don't see this very often when we play against the AL East teams. Bottom of the 8th inning, but Blue Jays scored 7 runs in the 9th to win against the Angels. A historic inning indeed, but at the same time, this is a little unusual. Darwin Barney homered his last time up. One of 3 Blue Jay home runs today. J.P. Howe appears to be ready to work the 9th inning. Two and one now. Three and one. The Blue Jays with a win will get you 56 and 61, still 5 games under 500. It's been an elusive mark. They've not been able to get to 500.
Yeah, they get close and they go into a little bit of a rough patch. They got a tough Tampa team coming into town. They go to Chicago to play the Cubs and then back down to Tampa, where things have been tough over the years. Not getting any easier for them.
Now, and you want to get back into this pennant race, you have to string wins together. We talked about it the other day. 2 out of 3 is nice, but it's not going to get you back to 500.
It's going to take you a while to get back to 500 if you go 2 or 3. You need like a 7-8 game win streak.
Marnie spoils a pretty good pitch. It's the 13th of August. It's getting late early. Running out of games. $45 games left after this one today. Fly ball. Right fielder Sean Rodriguez waits for it, and Barney's retired. A couple of fly balls to right. So back to the top of the order, Bautista will be the batter. Jose has walked, struck out twice, and grounded out.
There's no question Hudson's going to challenge you. He's going to come right after you. He's got a good arm.
Chad Kuhl was the starter. Wade LeBlanc gives up 2 runs on 3 hits over 2 innings. Gave up 2 solo home runs. Kuhl had a tough first inning, charged with 5 runs on 3 hits. An error contributing. Just 4 of the 5 runs were earned.
Home run power today again for the Blue Jays. They didn't hit an extra base hit yesterday. They've got 3 home runs today.
3 home runs and 2 doubles. 7 hits overall. 1-2. Bautista checks his swing. It's 2-2. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, the bottom 3 of the Pirates lineup. Jordy Mercer, Francisco Cervelli is out of the game. It'll be Chris Stewart and then Adam Frazier. Houston Astros are in Texas. They're scoreless bottom of the 3rd as the Astros have lost 5 in a row.
5 in a row. Still, Houston has the best record in the American League. They only have 45 losses now, and their lead's down to 12 games in the West.
There goes Pilar on the full count. Bautista strikes out. That ends the inning. So we'll go to the 9th. Blue Jays with a big offensive day. J.P. Howell will try to close things out for the Jays.
Presented by award-winning Honda Marine. Great days on the water begin with Honda.
Beautiful afternoon in Toronto, and it's been a big offensive day for the Blue Jays. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 1st and never looked back. J.P. Howell, the veteran, trying to close things out here in the 9th.
Just 15 games this year for JP. He's been on the DL a couple of times this season with some shoulder problems. He was returned from his medical rehab on July the 31st, activated from the DL, made his first appearance on the 4th of August. Gave up a home run in that game. That was down in Houston.
Shortstop Jordy Mercer 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Happ struck him out twice. was the last batter that Happ faced this afternoon. He closed out the 6th inning when he struck out. On the ground, Donaldson waits for it at third. Fires across the diamond in time. Now with the first out here, Chris Stewart will get his first plate appearance of the ball game. Took over defensively behind the plate for Cervelli.
It'd be really nice if JP could come back and throw like he has the last couple of years. He's a situational lefty with a good breaking ball, a good changeup. He's just been battling injuries, it seems like, since the beginning of the season.
'87, his velocity was really down early in the season. You could tell something wasn't right. First appearance of the season down at Tampa Bay, 83, 84 miles an hour. And his shoulder was barking at him.
And new to the organization, and the last thing you want to do is when the season starts say, hey, I'm hurt, I can't go. So he tried to pitch through it, and he just couldn't. He wasn't healthy.
Good bite on that breaking ball. But he has done a nice job of keeping his confidence up, working hard, getting himself back to tip-top shape. And now he's going a little bit more what he has been throughout the course of his career.
He's been really good for the young pitchers down in that bullpen. You talk to some of those young guys, they say he's been a good influence. His veteran presence.
Al started his career with the Kansas City Royals, and he was actually a starter early in his career.
11th year in the big leagues. Been around.
Way outside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Stewart. Stewart batting .183 this season. Just 93 at bats. Cervelli has done the majority of the catching. Now it's a full count, 3-2. Adam Frazier has hit leadoff. He's batted second, and now today he's batting 9th in this 3-game series. Broken bat grounder to second. Barney goes out. Stewart 2 away. Just enough movement to take it down to the end of the bat, and J.P. Howell gets a soft grounder to second out of the inning.
Broke his bat. Sounds like it. Told him today, I said, you got your old team coming in, Tampa Bay. He says, I can't wait to face them. I want to pitch well against them. Probably reminded of what happened that first trip down to Tampa where he had to go on the disabled list. So he wants a little amends and get back at his former team.
He pitched 6 years with the Rays and appeared in 252 games for Tampa Bay. That's where he spent the majority of his career. Adam Frazier.
Got to pitch in a World Series with Tampa Bay.
Pitched in the World Series in 2008. That was against the Philadelphia Phillies. The ground ball. Barney there at second, and this should do it. J.P. Howell gets 3 ground ball outs in the 9th, and the Blue Jays win the series 2-1 over the Pirates. Josh Donaldson got everything going with a first-inning 2-run home run. The Blue Jays got some big hits from Ryan Goins. Darwin Barney homered. Justin Smoke hit his 32nd.
And they got great pitching again. Jay Happ setting the tone with 6 innings. He only gave up 4 hits and 1 run. He also had 8 strikeouts. They turned it over the bullpen. 4 relievers come in, throw shutout baseball. Blue Jays win that series, get some momentum with that big 4-game series against the Rays starting tomorrow night.
And it'll all be tomorrow night. The Blue Jays have a big day offensively. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central, Jamie and Greg.